impacts to our economy. There might be some budgetary impacts that are more positive in terms of sheriff's department and arrests, et cetera, if all of those activities are no longer illegal. There could be some real pluses to the environment if grow operations have to meet the law that other people do in terms of water course diversions that have happened for grow operations, diesel spills and other things that have caused negative impacts to the environment. So that's a chapter that we're going to discuss, and I think it's time that we as a community discuss it as adults.
Thank you. Is there a comment from Joe Leonard?
Sure. I understand the question. It's not a problem. I'm just not afraid of what might happen at some point in the future. I'm much more concerned with addressing the issues revolving around marijuana that we face right now. You know, we've got milk, right? We've got dairy products. We find a way in Humboldt County to market dairy products nationwide, even though there's places that, you know, outproduce us by millions. So I'm not worried about it. We're going to find a way to make our economy survive.
Thank you. And the next question goes to Bonnie Neely first. Do you support inclusionary zoning and why?
Yes, in the short answer, I do support inclusionary zoning. That is to ensure that we have affordable housing for everyone who lives in Humboldt County. We went with a couple of housing elements that didn't include inclusionary zoning because we believed collectively as a board that the market would take care of things, that if there was a need for more affordable housing, that affordable housing would be built. But what's been determined is over the last 10 years, the affordable side of housing has not been provided and it's not been built. And part of the policies that we put in our new housing element will take care of this. It will mean that for every big project, housing project that's being built and developed in Humboldt County, there will be a piece for affordable housing. And so that's how we're going to be dealing with it, and we've adopted that already in our county housing element.
Thank you. And the same question to Jeff Leonard.
No, I don't support inclusionary zoning. I think it's a government regulation that's trying to force people to do something they'd like them to do, but it's just making it more expensive to do something that's already difficult. In the city of Eureka, we are trying very hard to address that problem that comes up with finding affordable housing for low-income members of our community, for retired seniors who have fixed incomes. It's a real tough challenge. One of the things that we did, we teamed up with the local high school, the ROP program, to build housing in the 6th and 7th streets, to lower the price of that overall housing so that it could be sold at a cheaper price. Another thing that I'm in big favor of is to help mother-in-law units survive at the easiest possible way, so that people who have mother-in-law units going right now, they don't have to give up those mother-in-law units and kick people out. So again, changing some of those parking regulations or whatever little regulation you need to make housing happen, that's what I favor.
Thank you. Virginia Bus?
Thank you. I think the concept of inclusionary zoning is, I understand it, and I think it comes from the, wanting to do what's best for the community, but I don't think it necessarily has the intended consequences of helping with affordable housing. I do believe that it places an additional burden on the developers, and I think what we need to do is make it easier for people to develop affordable housing.
And there's a comment?
Actually, I wasn't
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry, I took a breath. No, wow. I think we need to pursue public-private partnerships, such as what the city of Eureka has done, where we've used Eureka property and work with the HROP program. I believe there's opportunities like that are available, and we just have to be creative in how we work with developers to make this happen. So inclusionary zoning, I'm not a big fan of it. I suppose as a last resort, it may be the direction where you have to go, but I do think there's a way to work with developers to make affordable housing happen, and the community needs to be involved.
And there's a comment by Bonnie Neely.
Thank you. Yes, I just wanted to say that part of our inclusionary zoning ordinance, we're going to put as many incentives as we can to engage developers to do affordable housing. That's what it's for. And I'm pleased that we worked out a partnership with a private sector developer called Astor Place. It's going to be in the unincorporated area of the 4th District in the Myrtletown area. and there'll be 56 homes going in there. We just received a grant for $4 million to help make sure that these houses are affordable. So it works. I think it's going to address the housing shortages in the whole county.
Thank you. And the next question, Virginia Bass will have the first opportunity to answer this question. Do you support bringing back the railroad to the North Coast at the expense of California taxpayers?
Thank you. Does that count my time? I support keeping the option open for the railroad. Do I think it should be supported by the California taxpayers? I don't think that's going to happen in my lifetime. I would like to think that there is a private enterprise out there who maybe can produce something in Humboldt County and wants to ship it out, but I think the railroad is going to be dependent on private dollars to put it back in place. And I can't tell you when that might happen, but I certainly don't expect the railroad to be back in business at the expense of the taxpayers.
Okay, thank you. And the same question goes to Jeff Leonard.
Is the question to bring the railroad back as a walking, biking, pedestrian trail?
The question is, do you support bringing back the railroad to the North Coast at the expense of California taxpayers?
An operating railroad. If it was possible, it would have been done by now. It just doesn't make financial sense. That's why no one in the private business community is invested in. That's why no one in government is invested in bringing the railroad back. Now, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. Now, on the other hand, I think trails are something that people are looking for quality of life reasons. Trails attract new businesses to your community. Trails make people want to live where you live. So I think we need to take advantage of that railroad right away. We need to start putting some trails on it, and that's going to attract not only new residents, but new businesses to our community.
Thank you. Bonnie Neely?
I think probably $200 million of taxpayers' dollars has gone into trying to keep the railroad running all the time. And unfortunately, it doesn't have enough traffic on it for customers that would sign up for it, even at the best of times, to be eligible for a subsidy from the government, any kind of repairs or monies. So it really is up against a lot of opposition. As a county supervisor, though, I want to state that I have supported whatever the Harbor District has wanted to do in terms of port development. They've asked for monies for studies. We provided that for them. They've asked for monies to look at how they can develop different methods of port development. We provided that to them. We've helped them with the fishing industry. We've helped them do the studies for mariculture, so we're very supportive of their activities, but they've not been able to secure any funding for the railroad and port operation, and I also support the trails.
Thank you. Is there a comment? No. All right, moving on to the next question. And the question goes to Bonnie Neely. Which alternative of the proposed general plan do you favor and why?
Okay, well, there are four options for the general plan, A, B, C, and D. A is required by law. You have to have one option, which is the most environmentally, or the least environmentally damaging. So that's option A. Option B is a little bit more flexible. It probably includes options that a lot of people are buying into. It gives you more flexibility in terms of dealing with changing times. Option C is basically the option that says anything goes, developers do whatever you want. And option D is the status quo. And I would say that the last two options I'm not interested in. I'm only looking at options A and B. I see some great policies in option A in terms of building our future, retaining our economy, and I see some options in B that keep things more flexible. So I'm looking in that area.
Thank you. The question goes to Jeff Leonard.
Okay. Well, it sounds like this question again has become a political litmus test for our county. It's designed to try and figure out, so where are you on? What side of the battle are you on? And I just want to restate one more time, I made a choice a long time ago not to accept that big check, to keep myself independent from some of the big wars that are taking place out in the region. I've also said